And young women, you are magnifying this problem by becoming pornography.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. No church news today. And so we'll do a comment reply video to a person that got banned. I lived for a time as a youth in my teen years and through high school living in Corona, California. We were on the west side. Corona High School was on the east side. All through my teen years, our ward building was the Stake Center across the street from Corona High School. And so those are the pictures at the beginning. You can see the high school and the church up at the top center part. And what used to be on the corner of Corona High School was a born-again Christian church. They used to have a massive cross out front. And then when I was able to check Google Maps, look back at my old homeland, the cross was gone. And then I came back a couple years later, and it's now part of Corona High School. They bought it out. It used to be a baseball locker room thing, but now I see that they've turned it into a theater. So they apparently have done away with their baseball program, even though they still have a sort of a couple of baseball fields. It used to have the baseball fields right in back. So they've done some changes since I've last looked. They've added some more buildings for classes to handle the larger amount of people, I guess, and have pretty much done away with their baseball team. But this is what I was faced with as a child growing up, that even though we were right across the street from the born-again Christians, Tom Jones lived just on the next street over from me and was the one who had seen God Makers and was telling me that I can't drink coffee. And I'm like, yeah, so that smells awful. I wouldn't want to touch it. That we worship Satan because of the inverted pentagram on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple. I'd never been there. As far as I know, he's lying, because we worship Jesus. Why would the leaders of the church lie to us and deceive us by covering things up? We're the one true church on the face of the earth. And yeah, Peter Paulino likewise was a member of that religion, and teased me about worshiping Lucifer. Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. And yeah. Leave me alone to listen to my tunes on the bus ride to the next basketball game. Seminary, which, do I still have the photo of when Benson came out talking about the Book of Mormon? Mormons worldwide had seminary classes, do the Book of Mormon Challenge, Book of Mormon Tide Pod Challenge, in which, there it is. Oh, seriously. Oh, God. They changed it again on me, and it pisses me off. See, this time when I saw that the upgrades were coming, I knew what happened the last 2 times of the 2-hour videos that were sabotaged. So I tampered with it earlier this time, and the upgrade that was added was screwing up the Windows viewer. But yeah, there was only 8 of us that read the Book of Mormon from cover to cover for that Book of Mormon challenge, sending the photo and list of all of our names to President Benson, saying, "We are special. We obeyed you. We read the Book of Mormon." See, for me, I was studying even back then. But nonetheless, there I am, standing behind Lynette Hymas. She wanted my mustache shaved, and the curls, wasn't long hair, they just curled. I couldn't do anything with them. So for the senior year, it all got shaved. And then Lynette still wasn't around. But nonetheless, you know, if I were to be that picky about her hair, I would say do away with it. Those curls. The woman on the left side with the red sweater jacket draping over her. That kind of hair is the one I preferred, if we're going to be that picky and technical. But nonetheless, there was a Mormon who had found my YouTube channel and commented, asking me if I'm the guy from Corona. And he said he only knew a couple of the people in the photos, and then I haven't heard from him since. I'm an anti-Mormon, antichrist, apostate Korahar. He had no interest in me whatsoever. But our seminary building was back then, the new attachment from the main building. And where the stake offices were at the other end, and the chapel was over on the main building, obviously. But, you know, nonetheless. They used to have the parking rails put up after I had first checked it. I'm not seeing them now. They must have taken them down and allowed students again to use it as a parking lot, or because Corona requires only the parking lot for the school, that they finally took them down. I don't know. Maybe I needed to just zoom in and magically it would appear. You'll notice that the church has a cross listed for it. Not a cross. not a cross. So yeah, now it's a theater. Because it used to hold, the auditorium for the main sessions. If you've seen any of those movies of what goes on in a mega church, that was an attempt to become a mega church, and it fell, literally. The born-again Christian teens one morning when I came to seminary had toilet papered the trees out front, and I guess the building too. But I was like, drama, drama, drama. So no, I did not clean that up. Nor when I got hearted. I didn't know it was me that got hearted. I thought it was the family that got hearted, and there was no way in hell I was going to clean it up. Carrie Bain apparently hearted me, and I had no clue. And I went, I don't know how many years, until my sister Tiffany finally told me that it was her. And she was mad that I didn't date her, because she wanted her as a sister-in-law. When I came home from my mission, the Baines invited me over for a party before I went up to Rick's. And at the party, I was trying to mingle and socialize. Wasn't going to get serious with anybody because I'm heading off to Rick's. And Carrie's younger sister came over to me and condemned me for her not wanting to date me, or women are weird. They have presuppositions to assume that I'm a typical guy, and they never bothered to talk to find out how I feel. Because that was the way I was when I was up at Rick's the first year, is I knew I wasn't going to get a Dear John letter, so why would I want a Dear John letter and have a girlfriend waiting for me? That would be stupid. Though, yeah, I really liked the redheaded girl, but I could never pursue it because I was going to go on a mission and didn't want a Dear John letter. So what's the point in having my heart broken with the perfect woman? Yeah, we went on a number of dates, and threesomes even, with her roommate, Trisha Wingate. But memories on the corner of my mind. And so I had to know Mormonism, because these born-again Christians were being told stuff about our church, about our doctrine, about our religion and practices and such, that the church was not telling me, even in seminary, when I was 100%er. Yeah, I got that certificate. Was a scripture chase master. No big deal, it's associative memory. But nonetheless, as the video I did that nobody's watching about the missionary discussions, that was the first time that the church was summarized. And even though it was too brief, that there's a whole bunch of stuff that's missing, that we're purposely withholding from converts and investigators, that they really should know before making that final commitment. And yet you still had missionaries back in my day who were wanting to baptize immediately after the person believes that the Book of Mormon is true. There's a trap in store. You kind of need to do more research. But, when numbers are involved and missionary peer pressure, others, not me, cave. And they sacrifice honor and integrity to get the numbers up. Whereas the rest of us are the black sheep of the mission. Cause chaos and pandemonium. But I heard about all the lack of retention in other missions, especially in ours. Dear God, the Bronx, oh my hell, that was a mess. So, Susie Q, maybe we should put that as the theme song in the description below, one of hers. Or is it Stacy? It's Stacy Q. Oops. But Susie Q's were good. Those were like they were like a sugary Twinkie, but chocolate with the cream filling sandwich. Very good. Do they even have those anymore? Sure is nice when the Mormon employee does not work. To be left alone on the internet. Otherwise, we're waiting for Google Chrome to be sold off, but I'll take one thing at a time if we can't do it all at once. Walmart's selling them, I guess. Why are you all blurry? Stop it. Stop it. Oh my hell. Just one. I'm gonna have to do this one. Cut and paste. There is a Susie Q music group. Can't live if living is without you. Can't live without your love. Can't live without your love. Okay. I'm only doing that because there's a cartoon woman in a swimsuit. Which, triggers memories of when I went to Riverton for the writing competition. I got a Miss Congeniality Award. Because I did it on the native Indians on Alcatraz Island. So yeah, a group of us teen boys went roaming around the city while we were waiting for the judges to go over all of the billions of teens who were there. And there was this one store that sold little novelty stuff, and we saw that there was a stairwell leading up to an attached room, and so we wanted to go up and see, and so we went, And we get to the top, and we were about to open the door when a guy came out from the room. Said, "Don't go in there, boys. You'll go blind." It had a whole bunch of vintage novelty pin-up postal cards, just all stacked up like records. And go through and find the one you want. So yeah, I don't understand why people would go blind until the Old Testament year. Sodom and Gomorrah, they went blind. And so the church then assumes that it's homosexuality and not neglecting the poor, as Ezekiel 16 tells us it was. So Susie Q is the one who commented on my "Trump bites the LDS Mormon church hand that feeds him." I just did the Esdras chapter, second Esdras video today. They all tie together, guys. All tie together. That's what happens when you're inspired. And so Susie, well, I'll just read it, because that's what the video is all about. "Travis, I appreciate," she's trying to use flattery, pacification, and deception. That loses my interest immediately. "What you have to say and have learned a lot about this strange religion." With strange love, Depeche Mode. I never knew in high school what that meant. Not a clue. I heard the peers say that they were gay, but they were saying everything was gay, so I couldn't really trust them. From watching you and others. So now you've lost me. If you're watching others, you don't recognize my authority over the others. Cults, oops. You're minimizing the evil of this church. Apparently, born-again Christians don't get taught anymore that the church worships Lucifer and his plan of happiness to ban porn, while using women as pornography, prostitutes, and sex trafficking, and BYU, and Rick's, which no longer exist, and all BYUs, are so demoralizing. And so is born-again Christians as a cult group. See, she's pulling the beam in the moat, from that Bible, and she's clueless about it. And here's where she talks about it. "I'm not a Mormon. I never was." So you're a never-mo. That's all you gotta say. Never-mo. Talking about Trump, never-mo. That's the term. "But I'm a born-again and a follower of Jesus Christ." It's kind of repetitive. "I love freedom. You also love taking it away from others. And so does Christ. Free will is a breath of fresh air as you take it away from others." Are you unfamiliar with what evangelicals are doing across this nation? They're being ordered by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so says Oakes. He was leaked by a Little Sister missionary in the Las Vegas, Nevada mission on the 14th of March, 2020, Saturday. He gave a special super sacred secret meeting that they were not allowed to record, and she was a naughty little girl and recorded them. And he said, this year's mass murder and attempted coup is gonna be a test run for what we're gonna pull in 2024. And welcome AI. And so yeah, you're getting states that are forcing the Christianized Jewish scriptures into the public school systems. You're having Christians in SCOTUS take away the 14th Amendment Section 1 rights from women. I finally found a off-news source that admitted that what SCOTUS did in overthrowing Roe v. Wade was a violation of the 14th Amendment Section 1. But the mainstream media, no, they never bring up the 14th Amendment Section 1 to their audience. They keep their audience in the dark of the Constitution and what it says. I guess they kind of have to, because the deep state Dems are segregationalists. Separate but equal. That's why there's LGBTQIAPO+, and each and every single letter of the alphabet has to have their own separate segregationalist laws for their protection, rather than the 14th Amendment Section 1, which guarantees equal rights for everyone. You just have to be born, not sperm. It's real simple to read. It was a coup, what SCOTUS did. And thus, the 14th Amendment Section 3 was overthrown by SCOTUS by violating that same constitutional right. And nobody did anything to stop them. And so yeah, our government's fallen. We're all doomed, and utter destruction awaits us. We're just waiting for the church to fall so that we can get to Zion. But this is my channel that she's commenting on. She didn't bother to learn more about me and what I'm all about. She's a born-again Christian, and she sees somebody trashing the church and is now preying upon me. See how I use the word? So she continues, hopefully some of these people will escape from this cult. See, that's what she's doing. She's preying upon those who leave the church. And so she found me, and so here she is. She's coming to get me. I have noticed that you look like you don't feel well. Bleep you. You look very tired. Well, doing videos at 3 in the morning when I just woke up or just came back from my run, yeah. But if you watched my videos, you might have learned something. Especially with all the props in the background. We all are these days. Oh, she's trying to empathize after insulting me. She thinks she's being a good person, a good born again. That's the indoctrination that they've done to her. Notice how I have not been comparing it with the church yet. I'm being a good boy. a personal spiritual relationship with Jesus Christ. You must be single, aren't you? Because when a guy sees you coming towards him, yeah, you're hot. We want to get to know you better. And then you open your mouth with that kind of crap, and, well, I gotta go. Nice meeting you. Good luck with your life. I'll call you. Dear God. It's found by... Oh, now she's Jesus-splaining. See, she's preying upon me, trying to convert me to her born-againism. Now that I've left the church, I must be going through a faith crisis. I need another religion to go to. Mormon missionaries are worse. Oh, you just lost your kid? Well, you can be together forever with them by paying the church money so that you can be worthy to go to the temple and be sealed to them for all eternity. Oh my God. I should find that clip of Nelson doing that to the old man whose 2 daughters he murdered on the medical chair. Notice how he waited until after the wife is dead. Oh my God. This is all just awful. Christianity is all wrong, abominable, and corrupt. Why doesn't anybody believe Joseph? Spending one-on-one with him. No thanks. I wanted to spend one-on-one with you, but then you spoke about Jesus with his word. See? This is Trinitarianism, not Mormonism. You can never be one-on-one with Jesus. So it's only through his word that you feel the Spirit. Feel Jesus. And that's the spiritual witness. Feeling of Christianity that Mormons stole after September 6th. Not 6th, it's September 6th in 1993. Church put a stop to studying and intelligence. The glory of God is stupidity. And predatorial. Stalking. And then she quotes scripture to me, Matthew 11:28-30. Notice this, Mormons. Pay attention. All our manuals have now been changed because of Nelson getting up at the pulpit of conference and Oakes backing him up. Nelson came out and said, yoke yourself to Jesus. Oakes would come out and say, bind yourself to Jesus. Being bound to Jesus Christ. Okay? That's Mormon doctrine now. It's the first time any religion ever in the whole history of the universe has ever come up with that one. Listen to her quoting from Matthew 11. If you never did watch my conference videos going over this. Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. As a born-again Christian, she would never join this church, especially after hearing that Nelson has reworded this Bible scripture, talking about how it's important to feel his word. She would feel the word of Nelson and run away. She already says, she already sees it as a cult that is demoralizing. This is what Mormons are not understanding. You can't change the Bible and expect that Christians are just going to believe you and join. Because he's changed a lot more than just yoking. And that's no yoke. He loves you, Travis. Does he? Because last I knew, he's pissed. He wants revenge, and he's been causing me pain and suffering for years, trying to murder me. Not to mention all the Mormons who've sent me death threats, who've been ordered by the church to cause me harm. So no, Jesus does not love me. She has no clue who I am. She has no clue who the real Jesus of the Jewish author is. I pray for God's joy. See, this is where Christian girls are so naive. To encourage you. See, because boys will hang around her because they want joy. And she's clueless. She thinks she has friends in Jesus. And she's not taught sex ed. She is told to vilify her own body. Adam and Eve. If Adam, should I repeat that several more times until you catch on to what it's not talking about? If Adam had not transgressed, he would not have fallen. And they would have had no children. How do you have children? You don't want to be naive on this subject, because then you become a tease. Adam fell, that men might be. Men are that they might have joy. And they would have had no children, having no joy. How do you have children? It's the same question of how do you have joy? Shall I go over another scripture to help you understand how it's done? It's all over the scriptures. It's so pornographic. Alma, chapter 32, starting in verse 28. Now we will compare the word unto having joy. Scriptures are all about having sex, people. Going to the temple, paying for your prostitute, sex trafficking her if necessary. Because the glory of God is stupidity. Predatorial stalking. So yes, Mormons, don't disassociate yourself from born-again Christians. You're the same. You're worse even. Far worse. It's horrifyingly scarier. Ever since I moved to Utah, I put you guys on too high of a pedestal. And so yeah, my faith bubble was bursted in you. As I came to learn soon thereafter, that Joseph Smith is true. He was a translator, deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Found out that the King Follett sermon is correct, that it is all translated incorrectly. And so, this is a knowledge. This is fruit. No born-again Christian, no Mormon is going to have me go, oh, you're right, this fruit is a lie. I want invisible Jesus who I feel in my boobs. Because that's the real joy. And then she'll go on to marry a born-again preacher. As she'll be gang-banging with the pool boys as her preacher husband watches and films it for porn. And then goes up in the sermon about how the evils of porn will destroy your marriage. Disassociating with what he's doing in his marriage with his wife. Oh my help. And people are still a part of that church? What? Jesus said have sex with everyone because I can't use the other word. The glory of Jesus' stupidity. That's how I'll change it. Mormon Jesus.